There's a place I have found in the shade on the ground, far from all worries and troubling sound. When I go there to be by myself, only me, no one can guess what I came there to see. There's a sun in the sky, there's a cloud drifting by, all kinds of birds make you wish you could fly. And in the distance I see someone waving at me. I hope that it's you, but who else could it be?
Hey everybody, Monday morning here at the Untold Radio Studios for coffee time. Hopefully the audio and everything's working good. If you notice any issues, you can mention them in chat. Welcome Cindy and Sandra and Charlotte have shown up in chat already. Beautiful Father's Day weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the dads. I had a great one. Had both my sons, and we spent some time kayaking, and we were going to go to the races last night out at Houston Speedway, but decided not to. But they're off kayaking again today now. So I ran out of gas by the end of the day yesterday. We grilled steaks last night out on the deck. It was a beautiful, beautiful Father's Day. But last week I was gone for a few days out of state. Flew out to the West Coast for 3 days and came back on the end of the week. So, and now this week I get to meeting with another person who is with a university and has some experience in one of the areas that I'm looking at working with DNA here in the upcoming year. And I've got a meeting with them too. So I'm looking forward to doing that this week. Hopefully by the end of the week, we'll have some definitive direction for that project. I'm really excited about it. I spent some time writing about it in the book that I put out with Hanger One Publishing here last month. But yeah, it was really neat to tour a really advanced DNA lab, to see all these things that you hear described, you hear people talking about, you hear the processes described, but to actually see them and how they do it was really, really interesting. So look forward to at some point in the future, we can talk more about that. It's great weather here. I know it's been hot in quite a few areas of the country, but it's pretty decent here. I mean, it was 90, but it was bearable. wasn't stupid humid. Got a little rain. We needed some rain. Yesterday I spent some time. I love to golf, but I don't golf a lot. I'll probably golf 4 or 5 times a year. Sometimes I'll golf charity tournaments where, you have a 4-man best ball format and somebody puts a team together, asks me to join them. I'll do it. And I enjoy it. But I was watching the final round of the U.S. Open yesterday. And I got to tell you, I felt compelled to mention this just because to me, it was really pretty inspiring. I mean, first of all, it was a pretty close ending. I mean, but it was only really two three people who were really in the race there at the end. You know, it wasn't like there was 8 people that were within 2 strokes of each other. But let me pull this up here. Get at it. Okay. So Wyndham Clark, 29 years old from Colorado, was leading the final round of the U.S. Open with about 5 holes left to go, with a 2-stroke lead over Rory McIlroy. Now, you expect Rory to be there. I mean, he's had 4 major wins, I think. He's looking for a 5th. He's going to keep showing up. He's not going to retire. He's made a ton of money. I mean, they've made video games. They title video games after the guy, okay? He's one of the top, probably 3. Well, he'll be the favorite in the next week's tour event. He'll be ranked number 1 as the favorite. So, but Wyndham Clark, 29 years old from Colorado, golfed at Oklahoma State, lost his mom while he was there as a student athlete, and she died of cancer. And she told him on her deathbed to, always set goals that are bigger than just you. Don't put parameters around your dreams that feel like they're just suited to you. She thought that he should be able to inspire others and move others, and losing her was really a big deal for him. I mean, you could tell it weighed heavily on him. Well, here's the interesting thing. He's never won a major before, and the best finish he's ever had in a major event, tied for 75th, is the best he's ever done. Tied for 75th in a major event. And with 5 rounds left, he's got a 2-point lead, 2-stroke lead on Rory McIlroy. Not just somebody else, the guy you do not want to have nipping at your heels. And he held them off in the end, won by a stroke. But to see this guy celebrate and see his family run out and support him, it was really inspiring. I encourage anybody who missed it. There's going to be videos on that all week. Go check them out. They are worth seeing. So let's see what else I've got here. I have. This is an interesting video that I ran across. This is one that I can play the sound to too. So, people have seen this before, where people are fishing or whatever, and there's eagles around. These guys are standing out on their dock, and they look up and see a bald eagle sitting right in a tree, watching them, probably waiting for them to throw a dead minnow or bait or something out on the water. But this is pretty interesting. Check this out. Got a little buffering here.
That was amazing.
I don't know if that played very smoothly, but I'll play it again. I've got so many windows open of stuff to share on these shows that it ends up causing it to buffer. That is pretty cool.
That was really cool. That was sweet.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool to see nature do stuff like that. I've been out in on the boat before where we will throw bait or you get a foul hooked fish that's just not gonna make it. You throw it out and it's floating on top of the water and you almost kind of forget about it. You're out there fishing for another half an hour and all of a sudden, sploosh, eagle comes flying by and just smacks the water and grabs it right off the surface of the water. Um, I've had that happen more than once, actually. Let's see what else we've got here. All right, we've got. Oh, this is, I don't know. Sometimes some of these science articles just they cave my head in, to be honest with you. I mean, it's really a lot. It's really a lot. But yeah, I'll go here, I guess. I'll go here, I guess. Scientists believe there is an anti-universe where time runs backwards. Okay. Sounds like something straight out of a Christopher Nolan film, but scientists have suggested that there could actually be an anti-universe where time runs backwards. And if you're anything like us, your brain is probably starting to hurt already. Yeah, mine was hurting when I read the title, okay? But it comes from experts studying symmetries, and the new research is all to do with the fundamentals of symmetry in nature, the most significant of which are charge, parity, and time. Bear with us. According to Life Science, a new paper recently accepted for publication in the journal Annals of Physics suggests that there is a combined symmetry to the entire universe. As the research attests, the early universe was so uniform that time looks symmetric going backwards and forwards. The paper argues that the way we understand the world and wider universe around us, moving forwards in time, must also be expanded to include a mirrored version which runs backward in time. Oh, what do I say? What I don't. I will say this. It does say comes from experts studying symmetries, and the new research is all to do with the fundamentals of symmetry. Okay, there is a point where they say in here, I just have to get to it. Oh, scientists have suggested that there could actually be. Does anybody here have a job where they are recognized and promoted and put on a pedestal, maybe given a raise for simply saying, I declare this could possibly be? Does anybody get paid for that? Does anybody get recognized for that? They write this article as if they have somehow figured this out. I don't know what to think anymore of some of this crap. It is mind melting for sure. Whew. All right, well, let's see what else we've got here. This is interesting. Years ago, I did my Ancestry.com homework, and discovered my Viking heritage. I am about 52 to 55% Scandinavian and part Welsh, part can't remember what all else was in there. I'll have to, but the majority of it was Scandinavian. And so this is a interesting article because for a while I have been dealing with it. At first it felt like arthritis, but I've since discovered it isn't. It is in the joints to where if you notice, my fingers are a little bit curved forward, especially that middle one. I can't straighten it out any more than that. I can't really straighten any of these out. And when I make a fist, it gets painful, like it's really stiff in those joints. But there is a curvature there. It exists on both hands. Okay. With that said, what is Viking disease? Deforming hand disorder linked to Neanderthals. Poor Neanderthals just couldn't catch a break. Our ancient ancestors, who probably died out through inbreeding, passed along genes that are still present in modern day humans. Research now finds that those Neanderthal genes also have gave some people an increased risk for Viking disease, also known as Dupuytren's disease or contracture. The condition causes the fingers of one or both hands to freeze into a permanent bent position. It's called Viking disease because it shows up most often in men of Scandinavian or Northern European descent. Since Dupuytren's contracture is rarely seen in individuals of African descent, we wondered whether gene variants from Neanderthals can partly explain why people outside of Africa are affected. Hugo Zeberg, assistant professor at the Karolinska Institute in Sweden, said in a news release. The researchers looked at genetic data from US, Finnish, and UK biobanks to compare almost 8,000 people with Dupuytren's contracture with over 645,000 other people. 61 genetic risk factors for Viking disease were discovered, of which 3 were inherited from Neanderthals, including the second and third most important risk factors. People with Dupuytren's disease or contracture have tissue in their hands that builds up over time, causing their fingers to lock into a bent position. And you can see some pictures of that where it's really advanced, where those curvatures just keep arcing downward. The study authors concluded that their discovery is further proof that our intermingling with Neanderthals, who share up to 98.5% of our DNA, has important health consequences. Interesting story. I don't know. I guess I'm mildly fascinated by anytime we can draw those correlations, whether it be hereditary, whether it be, dominant and recessive traits that are moved forward through lineage. And here is an interesting little video. Where was this? This is one of my favorite places down in Florida, Clearwater Beach. We used to go there a lot for work. They had a little water spout, which, let's be honest, water spouts aren't uncommon in a lot of these areas, but it is kind of uncommon for one just to come up on a day that people are at the beach, meaning it was a nice day at some point, you know, and they didn't go there in the middle of a storm. And this thing makes landfall and kind of just goes up the middle of the beach and sends everybody running, and it's kind of interesting. I mean, let me play it here. I think I can do the volume on this because I don't think there is any music. Let's see.
It's coming for the shore. Let's see.
Hour here, I think. This thing's coming in so fast.
Oh my god!
Just blast through all those umbrellas.
I got it.
So that was interesting. Again, I don't think that's something that is rare. I think it happens often. I think it happens often in coastal areas, but so let's see. I'm just trying to keep up with chat and see what everybody's yabbing about. I've got, what else do I got here? Probably got something else to chat about. Let me pull it up here. Oh, yeah. Here's a group of pictures that probably a lot of you saw. I saw these made their way around Facebook. Made their way around Facebook. I've seen them on quite a few different pages, but they're an interesting to notice just because of the size. This was in northern Montana. And they have a power generator inside of this shed. I don't know if it was running or not, but this is a boar here, boar grizzly bear, that for the lower 48 is pretty darn big. It's about 850 pounds, they estimated. A 10-foot tall grizzly bear up in Alaska. If you're looking at the ones that Billy Moles and some of these guides have gone out and set, they go out and set records with 10 foot tall is around 1,150 pound bear. So for that bear to be, roughly 850 in the lower 48, that they say that's pretty impressive. This is a pretty good sized bear. He's pretty adamant, scratching his back, just huge body and head on him. Here he is trying to, you can see where he's basically chewed off the, along the roof line there, all the soffit area. Tore all that off, tore part of this door apart. And once he got tired, he took himself a nap. He just laid down. Look at the top of this, where the peak was. Oh, I see. Never mind. That's the tree branch in front of it. When I just first saw that, I thought the peak was chewed off of it. But no, he spent some time doing some damage here and focusing on it until he got tired enough that he required a little bit of a nap. And that's exactly what he did. He just laid down and took himself a nap. I thought that was hilarious. Thought that was good. See if I got anything else saved here that we can share. Oh, yeah, I probably never not show that. Might get us in trouble with that one. Oh, yeah, here, this is interesting. Here in Minnesota, a lot of you guys around the country will go searching for whitetail antler sheds in the spring, which is cool. This guy, every now and then you'll find what's called the deadhead, where it's, you've got a whitetail that was killed and ended up, you find the whole skull and the antlers, and that's what this guy did. And it is a non-typical record. They have a 60-day drying out process after you find it, and then they measure it and score it. And this thing is huge, 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 huge. Let's pop up a little bit here on that. This whole piece right here is a whole drop tine from the opposite side, as well as this drop tine under here. 31 points. Get a better view of it. That is a lot of mass there, too. It's not just the number of points, but the thickness of those tines and the main beams. And that is impressive. But yeah, that is a non-typical record now here in Minnesota. So congrats to him. Get some info here. That is, his name's Jeff Schroeder by Lake City, up in Goodhue County. And this scored 277 and 3/8 net with a 282 and 1/8 gross, making it the new number one non-typical all time in Minnesota. So pretty impressive, pretty cool just to be walking up and find that laying in the forest. Pretty crazy. So yeah, we've got, let me pull up the rest of chat here. I don't have a lot on the schedule today. It's a kind of shorter coffee time shows I'm going to be doing on the Monday mornings, unless I end up with a guest and we end up, having a discussion about something. But for the most part, we're going to be popping on, sharing, 4, 5, 6 news articles and just some stuff that's interesting, and call it a morning, I think. We'll see. Maybe it'll evolve into something different. But tonight, I'm going to have an interesting conversation on Pine Island research. And I know on the surface, it may seem pretty like what's the big deal? But not that there's anything special about the number of days, but it's been 20,696 days since the Patterson-Gimlin film. And the first question would be, do you believe it's real? And the second one would be, where have we gone since then? And we're going to discuss how personal experiences and the experiences of others that you find believable will weigh heavily on your decision to believe or not believe. But even if we set all that aside, if you were to base it just on evidence and data that's been brought forward, what are the things we've looked at and considered credible or at least debatable or possible since Patterson-Gimlin? And we're going to have panel of folks on tonight, some friends that I'm looking forward to the discussion, because I don't mean for this to be some facetious tongue-in-cheek question. I really want to know if the question was whether or not you were in a location or not at a certain time and we went to court, have we brought anything forward since 1969 that would be valid enough to get a conviction against you? Let's look at it from that aspect. Footprints? Hey, that's evidence. Probably not enough to convict. And we can go on, but I mean, I'm just telling you, I think that what we might discover, and I don't know this for sure, but what we might discover in this conversation tonight is the weight that personal experiences and the experiences of others do carry in our decision making to believe that Bigfoot is real. Now, obviously, if you've had an experience, this isn't even a debate for you. This isn't you're by default a believer. I totally understand that. Trust me. But I'm looking at it from the perspective that for somebody that hasn't had a experience like that or an encounter, they're listening to the encounters of others and they're looking at all the data that's been brought forth. And where do they put their weight? What really leverages them to believe or not believe? And I think that's an interesting conversation, because we may find out that there's a lot of stock that's put into the experiences of others being shared, people that you find believable, and put in place integrity, a believability factor there. I almost feel like that may be more solid than any of the raw evidence that's been brought forth. And we're going to talk about it all, from the Sierra Sounds to the Olympic projects, nesting data, to different videos, to, I mean, anything that's ever been considered, realistically considered in this, I want to talk about, because I want to know where we've been since Patterson-Gimlin, and see how people look at that and say, is that cumulatively gotten me to be a believer, or is it more in the relationships and the opportunities you've had to listen to others share their experiences, and that's gotten you there? Where's the drivability coming from? And so I think that would be an interesting conversation. That's what we're going to do tonight. We'll have, I believe, Eric from Media Palace, Leon Thompson, Nikki may be joining us. She's traveling, but we'll see what she has for a signal. Send an invite out to a few more. So we'll see who all shows up, but I look forward to the convo. Just double checking the chat to make sure I didn't miss anything. So that'll be tonight, Pine Island Research, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Look forward to seeing you guys there. And then I haven't been, to be honest with you, I haven't been on YouTube much in the week or so leading up to last Monday's shows, and this week since last Monday's shows. Been enjoying kind of some time away from that, time with my family, but also time working on this upcoming project I'm going to be putting a lot of time towards trying to figure out how this all works with the shows and the preparation it takes for the shows and whatnot. So we'll see if I can add another couple hours to each day, or what do I need to do to make this work? So, but I appreciate you guys showing up today for coffee time, and you guys have a great rest of your afternoon. We will see you tonight on Pine Island Research, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 Central. We will see you then.